So in section 4.4 and 4.5 is when the book really gets into something called triangle congruence. Okay, so triangle congruence is when you take two triangles and you compare the two triangles. Okay, you're trying to see if the triangles are congruent. So if they are, you say yes, and you'll say yes, they are by one of these triangle congruents that work, or no, they are not congruent because none of the ways that work will satisfy these two triangles. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at today is SSS, and SSS stands for side, side, side. Okay, so the thing that you need to know most is that you need to recognize what is a side of a triangle, okay? So you need to be able to distinguish between a side and an angle, all right? We kind of went over that quite a bit yesterday, but if you're really struggling with that, ask for help or make sure you attend tutorial and have someone go over that with you, because that's pretty important, because this chapter really, you got to know that, okay? So what we're going to do in that box is we're going to draw two triangles. We're going to draw the first triangle ABC, bless you. We're going to draw the second triangle, and we're going to call it DEF. And then once you've got two triangles, you're going to look for information. Okay? Are you given any tick marks? Are there any statements? Anything that would indicate to you that these two triangles have parts that are congruent? So yesterday we went over the parts. We went over that there's three sides and that there's three angles, okay? So in this one, I'm going to tell you that side AB is 4 centimeters. Side BC is 6 centimeters. And side AC is 7 centimeters. Then I'm going to tell you that side DF is 4 centimeters. Side DE is 6 centimeters. And side EF is 7 centimeters. Okay? Obviously not drawn to scale. I didn't pull up my ruler and measure it. We're just doing a rough sketch of two triangles, and so they'll either give you some statements, they'll tell you some measurements, or they'll say something like this side is congruent to that side, and this side is congruent to that side. So what you do from this point is you're going to make some marks, okay? You're going to see if any of the sides match up. In this case, they do. On this triangle, you have 4 centimeters, and on this triangle, you have 4 centimeters. So you're going to put a single tick on each of those two. That gives you your first S. So you write down S. Then you notice that this triangle has a 6 centimeter, and this triangle has a 6 centimeter. So you're going to put a double tick. That gives you your second S. Then you just make sure those third sides also have the same measurement, 7 centimeters and 7 centimeters. So you put a triple tick on each, and that gives you your third S. So what you do is you say that yes, these two triangles are congruent by side, side, side. Okay? Now, do you remember yesterday we said that order matters? Okay? So when you go to write your statement to say that these two triangles are congruent, you need to go in order. So I'm going to start with the angle that's between the first and the third tick mark. So that means I need to start with the angle that's between the first and the third mark. And then I'm going to go to the one between the first and the second. So I'm going to put a double there. And between the first and the second, put a double there. That makes the third one the triple. The third one the triple. So when I go to write this statement, I say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, and I have to go in the same order, FDE. Notice that it's not always alphabetical. Like this one was alphabetical, but this one is slightly out of order alphabetically. It had to do with what sides were congruent. So 4 and 4, 6 and 6, 7 and 7. So this one's just basically turned, right? Compared to this one. All right? If it helps you, redraw it. That sometimes helps people. But after you've done a couple of them, you'll get good at it. All right? Any questions on the side? All right. Now we're going to go to the second box, which says SAS. And so the SAS is going to stand for side, angle, side. The important thing to notice here is that this angle must be included, and that means between the two sides. Okay, so you're going to keep seeing this word, included. The included means it has to be between the two sides. Because right now we have side, angle, side, but we're also going to have angle, side, angle. And it's going to be the same way. So you need to know what that word included means. All right, so let's draw two triangles. Okay. And you look for measurements or you look for statements. You're just going to see what kind of information is given about the two triangles. Sometimes you won't be given enough information and you'll need to say they're not congruent, don't have enough information, okay? But usually you will be given enough information and you'll figure out which one it is. Today it's kind of easy because it's either going to include an angle or it's not going to include an angle and it's going to have three sides. So just the first two are pretty easy. All right, so here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that segment BA is congruent to segment FE. And I'm going to tell you that angle A is congruent to angle E. And then I'm going to tell you that segment CA is congruent to segment DE. Okay, so these are our three. These are our three statements. And we're going to use them to make our tick marks and our arc marks on our triangles, and then we'll see if they're congruent or not. Okay, so yes. Oh, yeah, because I moved it down to show that. All right, so BA is congruent to FE. So that's our first one. So I'm going to use a single tick mark on BA, and I'm going to use a single tick mark on FE. Then I've got angle A is congruent to angle E. So I'm going to put a single arc mark on A and a single arc mark on E. Okay. Then the third statement says that CA is congruent to DE. So that's since that's our second segment, I'm going to put a double tick mark and a double tick mark. So are these two triangles congruent? We say yes. They are congruent by what we call side, angle, side. And then you're going to be asked to write your statement of congruence. So you're going to say triangle, and you have to go in order. So I'm going to start with the angle that's not the included one, but outside side 1. So I'm going to say BAC. So triangle BAC is congruent. And then I just have to be careful to go in the same order when I do this triangle, because this is turned as well, right? Turned and flipped. So it's FED. All right? Any questions on that? All right, finish copying it down.